Hello, all of my sleepy bears. 64 bears. My name's Chronically Blue. Welcome to another episode of Super Mario 64, 100%, 120 stars. This episode we are doing Wet Dry World, which doesn't really make sense. So we have quite a bit here. We have these little, actually quite beautiful, like, they're not pyramids actually. Well, they're, man, I guess a rhombus prism would be the best way to describe it. Or an 8-sided die. That's also a good way to describe it. But they're very pretty. Like, wow, that dude is, he is on a, he's unique. Well, we will leave it at that. But with Wet Dry World, we have different 8-sided die spread across the level here, and for each one that we touch, it raises the water level to that specific 8-sided die. There's a few different missions here, and they are unique. Most of them are pretty easy to figure out. One of them was a little annoying in order to figure out, actually. But for this first one, it is to go all the way up over here and go to the arrow platforms. Now, the arrows actually stop exactly when they touch another platform or when they get close to another one. So we don't have to worry about jumping over it. But Mario does indeed take damage from the thing. I think his name is like a Sparkster. I think that's it. Unless that's the name of a Kirby enemy. I'm not too sure. But, thankfully, we can go right over here, hit the little box, and look, there's a star, and we have to get it right before the Flamester spits flame on us, because then it'll make us run off, and that's not fun. But if you do fall off, you can do a long jump over there. That'd be pretty nifty, once you've already gotten it. Now, a fun little fact about this area, this level here, is depending on where Mario enters a painting, it changes the water level itself. I thought it was random, and then I started realizing, oh, hey, if I do it this way or that way, then it'll change. Thankfully, with this level, it is not the worst thing. It is annoying, unfortunately, but luckily we were able to figure it out a little bit. So there is the gigantic purple man that throws us if we get too close to him, which is not fun, but thankfully it's not that much of a walk back up here. Now, this very thin cardboard, it's not great. It is horrendous. But once we get onto the spinning platform, we can then go right on over here, hit the block, and then there is the star. Also, one thing I did want to talk about is that it is significantly later. When you are seeing this, I'm recording this significantly earlier in the week. I didn't record this just yesterday as you were seeing this. No, there is a tropical storm, whatever that means. And apparently, it might be a Category 3. Whatever. Here I'm showing you the secrets in the shallows. The first one is right up here. You're going to get right on top of that cage. The second one, we're going to lower the water level here. And we're actually going to go right over while it's still lowering to this part here. Now, if it gets all the way to the bottom by the time you've gotten over here, you can do a quick little side jump or even a backflip in order to make it all the way over here. We're going to push that block in. And that is number 2. Number 3 and number 4 are actually right next to each other. Number 3 is right here by pushing this block, and number 4 is by getting on top of that block in order to hit the block right on top of that. Why am I speeding this up for you? Well, it took a while for me to figure this out, unfortunately, so I just wanted to go ahead and make it a little bit faster for you. Number 5, it also involves a block, thankfully. We're going to go right over to this block here, which is right under where we went to. It's going to be right under the purple grabby guy. But once we have that, we're actually going to go over here because that was not the correct one, but this one is. You don't even have to touch the block. You don't even have to touch the spot. Just get close to it and it'll do it. So now we're going to go right on over here. We're going to activate the 4-sided die, make it all the way over here, and get the star. Now, you may have noticed that there was quite a few jump cuts there. The reason for that is because after we finish this world, we are going through and getting the 100 coin stars, 5 levels an episode. Why? I saved it for last. I probably shouldn't have, but that's just how I felt. I wanted to save it for last just so it was less of a headache for me in the long run. But it means that the next few videos are going to be a little longer. Maybe to your happiness, maybe to your unhappiness. But no matter your stance on it, it still works perfectly for me. I very well could have gone and done each thing by itself, but that'd be like 15 videos, and that's not fun. If I did the 5-parters and 3 total, then that could be something I could have done, but at the same time, that still felt like it would have it would have just spread it out a little bit longer, because then we'd have 7 videos, and that seems a little too much for me. I want to try to keep it to 15 to remain constant with the number of courses in the game. Yes, there we have is the elevator one. You can just go right down, do a little side flip, and make it right on top, and then that's all you need to do. I do not like the way that the X is designed in the letter there, but, you know, we're just gonna ignore it. Go to town for red coins. This one's not bad, actually. I can say that very, very calmly. This is not the worst one. If you do not have the water at this specific level, there is always a little 8-sided die that you can get to, but we're going to touch this little red bomb that will prepare the cannon for us. And this is the part where you kind of don't really know what to do here, unfortunately. They don't really give you much direction here, because it'll tell you about how you have to go to a town, but there's no town here. This barely qualifies as a playground for an 8-year-old. And even if it did qualify as that, then I don't think they'd allow children to play on top of buildings without guardrails that are 50 feet in the air. But then again, you know what? I'm going to stop what I'm saying right there, because if I continue describing that, then this might not be family-friendly or age-appropriate. So I'll just leave your imagination to imagine what happens when a kid falls off a 50-foot building with no railings on it. Anyway, we're going to go down here, and this little canal, tunnel, however you want to describe it, there's an arrow pointing us down, in case we forgot. Now, unfortunately, once you go through here, there is no way to get back out. So if you are doing the 100 coin star here, and you go here first, that's not really going to help you, unfortunately, because there are quite a few coins that you're going to need back in the primary world before you get all the way over here. Granted, this place does have all 8 red coins, so that is a benefit. That is, let's see, 8 times 2. That's 16 coins. I apologize. I had to remember how to do the math. That's what happens when you graduate, and 4 years later, you do something that doesn't involve math, and you use a computer all day. So you don't have to think, you just have to know the stuff. We do have a little 8-sided die right down here, and if you notice, actually, the doors on the buildings are very similar to the doors on Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Whether that was intentional or not, I'm not too sure. I believe they were probably developed at the same time. I remember when the N64 came out, I remember like I was actually there. When the N64 came out, there was only 2 games for it. It was Pilot Wing 64 and Super Mario 64. That's about it. But very soon more games came out, as they do. But, you know, starting a game console with 2 games, not the smartest move. But, you know, that's Nintendo for you. They do stuff that makes my brain hurt. As you can see, I'm having some significant difficulty with the wall kicking here. But if you are also struggling with the wall kick move here, if you've ever played any of the Metroid games and were able to do a wall jump, it's going to be exactly the same as that. Or if you're a different demographic and you've played Ninja Gaiden, then the way that you jump off of walls is exactly the same. So once Mario is jumping towards the right wall, you're going to hold left and jump kick, and then Mario's going to go left, and you're going to hold right and jump kick right as he touches the left wall, and then you're just going to do that. Really would have liked a tutorial on that, but at the same time, you know, this was the first of 2 N64 games, so what are you going to do? But I will say that it has been unique. I thought this world was going to be a lot more difficult, but it wasn't. It wasn't that hard to figure out, thankfully. Now, it could have just been the fact that I've played the DS version a lot more, so there's a lot more stuff going on and a lot less hints, and a lot more worlds, too, I want to say. I want to say they added 30 additional stars to the DS version for some reason. But they also had more characters and minigames as well, in case you got bored, which I sure did. Thankfully, with us getting that 8 red coin, we get to go over to this little schoolhouse here and get this star. And now we only have 1 left, not including the 100 coin star, which we will get in the 3rd episode, actually. Yes, we are doing courses 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and 11 through 15. and I will save them all for the end of the videos. I'm not going to speed them up, it's just going to happen. So we are going to very quickly go back to the town here, because I'm trying to save time as much as possible. By hitting that button, we will see that there is the Vanish cap available in the little switch box here. We can go ahead and hit that, and would you believe it, we can actually go through the little grates. Isn't that super? I could have said great, but I thought that'd be great. I'm sorry, I'm hungry, what do you want from me? I tried to not sleep for, well, hold on, let me phrase it. I tried to not take a nap for about like 2 weeks. I just get home and I'm tired from work, so I typically take like a 1 to 3 hour nap, and that's about it. But I'd still be very tired, so I talked to my therapist about it, and she said, well, 1, you need to get more sleep, and 2, try not taking a nap for 21 days. And I'm like, okay. I tried it, and sweet goodness, I was significantly worse. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna not do that. And I didn't just give it like 1 day. I gave it like a good like 14 days or so. I'm just like, wow, this is not helping anything. This is hindering, if anything. But that's what happens when you have the lips of an angel. Make sure to squash that Koopa Troopa, because they will give you the 5 coins. And right now we are starting the first of the 100 coin levels here. Now, let's say you had no idea that there were 100 coins in each level. That is completely reasonable. I guess it's a spoiler. When you beat the game, Bowser tells you that there is 100 coins in each level in order to get a secret star. So, why Nintendo decided to settle on 120 stars, I'm not sure. Maybe because Mario was 12 years old? That's a very rough estimate. I do not know if that's accurate, but it's a guess. But for some reason, once we started Super Mario 64, they decided 120 stars is perfect. The best thing to do here with these little logs is to run around them 3 times, or 4 or 5, one of the 3, and then you're going to get the coins that jump out of them, thankfully. But this part here is going to be just more or less a bit of a podcast session, just because we're just going through and getting all the coins. There's not a whole lot to say here, unfortunately. For the levels that we do have plans for, I'll be happy to elaborate on them, but they're very short little snippets of information that could help you. My throat. I have no idea what is coming next. At this point in time, I've gone ahead and finished recording all of Mario 64. You know, oh no, we did it. I don't know what you want to say, but I have no idea what to do next. I am playing around with a few ideas. I don't know if I'm going to spin the wheel or not, but you can definitely let me know in the description down below. The comments. You can let me know in the comments if you know what old game you want me to play next, if you know what you want me to do or see or anything like that. Please let me know. I'll be more than happy to take some suggestions, and I will see what happens. But I'm just thinking about playing like a PS2 game, or a GameCube game, or Xbox. You know, one of the older consoles, and even anything that's available on the Nintendo Switch Online service, because I have that. I did recently beat Beyond Oasis, which was pretty fun. It's a Genesis game that's included on every single Genesis collection. And after beating it, I realized why. It's not bad. It's a fun little game. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild, actually, which was very unique for me to see in a game that is 20 years predated it. You get weapons, and the weapons have limited numbers of uses. After you use them, guess what? They're broken. They're gone. They're dead. They're adios. But you go around, you collect 4 different spirits, and then you defeat the big bad guy, and that's about it. It's a really short adventure. It only took me about 4 hours to beat it, but I also use the rewind feature quite a bit, and lots of save states. When I play games with fun, I happily use the save states, but if I play them for a Let's Play, I try to not use save states unless I have a justifiable reason for it. For this game, there is no save states, unless you play it on Nintendo Switch Online, which even then, I want to say there's no save states for the Nintendo 64 games. I know there are for the NES, SNES, Game Boy period. I think there might be for the Game Boy Advance, but I'm not sure. And I want to say there's not save states for the N64. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played any of those games. But, you know. The best thing to do with the 100 coin star is to make sure to have a good area of when you're going to get the last coin so that you are on the ground, so that you are not in the air, so that it's not above a grate or something, or a place that you're unable to access easily. Just make sure to do that, because if you do get the 100th coin in an area that you cannot easily access, then you're kind of, you know, unable to get it, unfortunately. But if that does happen, then you can just leave the course and try again, which is my least favorite option, which unfortunately I had to do quite a few times. Not for this stage specifically, but for quite a few. I just did it at the wrong time, or this side or the other set it up wrong, so I just had to go through and fix it, and it wasn't fun. But luckily, we do have some coins inside of this block here. Never mind, we don't. There is a red coin over here, but we are trying to not get that, actually, just because we don't want to have to slide down 15 times in order to try to get the star. You know what I mean? With bomb enemies, they always have at least a coin, maybe two. The best thing to do is you can either grab them, or you can just get in front of them, run around them, and have them run into another bomb in order for them to both explode. Okay, there's a 100 coin star. Now, because this took me so long, what I would do is I would stop the recording once I got that. Make sure I have the footage, and then click save. So that way, if for any reason something happens, I would be able to go through and get it back immediately. Because again, no save states. The best thing to do here is to definitely tackle the piranha plants, because they give you a blue coin, which is 5 coins every single time, which is very nice. It is enjoyable. It is helpful. The red coins are also very nice. It's helpful to know that there's at least 16 coins given. But as difficult as it may seem, or as difficult as it is, there are indeed 100 coins in each world. There's only 15 worlds, so you don't have to worry about trying to get 100 coins in Princess Peach's castle, which that would just be annoying. And unfortunately, we have this piranha plant here that is just not the best, unfortunately. It's really good at taking a bite out of Mario, but when we walk away for a bit, go and get some coins, and then we can come back and establish ourselves again, that's when we're going to be able to take care of him. But if you are just taking hit after hit after hit, grab a coin. It'll always refill your life. Have a Mario's right here just staring at it, trying to figure out what to do about this nuisance. But luckily, we have some coins right over here. And then if you walk very slowly, it will keep the piranha plant asleep. As well as Mario falling off, that will also keep the piranha plant asleep. What keeps me asleep is typically the thunder, or not thunder, I apologize, rain. Rain keeps me asleep. When there's nothing I love more than just having a nice, like, heavy rain when I'm asleep. Just, that's so nice. That is a blue coin switch. I hope you get used to it and know where it is in every single level, because we're going to need it in every single level. And if you miss it, then you might make things significantly difficult and or impossible for yourself. But I just remember one time, it was recent, unfortunately, but I was taking a nap, and we had like a thunder come in, and the thunder clapped so loud it woke me up from a sleep. And I wouldn't say I'm a heavy sleeper, but I'm also not a light sleeper. It's gonna take quite a bit in order to wake me up. Mario, if you could not die there, that'd be great. Yeah, just collect yourself, Mario. You know, you're trying your best here. That's all we can ask of you. If the piranha plant is still giving you some issues, you can always walk away a little bit. And then once it is back asleep, jump on it or punch it. And there we go. Yeah, that piranha plant is going to give us the most trouble, but thankfully we took care of it. I have been playing with the idea of a few different things. I'm just trying to... I'm thinking about having a guest over, actually. there are a few people that I'm friends with on YouTube that they said that they would be more than happy in order to do a video with me. Just a bit of a collab. Nothing, not like an entire series. That would be a little too difficult to schedule because everyone lives in different areas and such. Or something happens with everyone. It's really hard to just get everything all together. But I could definitely do like a little, one episode of a Let's Play or a one-off video where we're all playing together. And I'm definitely playing with the idea of that. That seems like something I could definitely do. I have one friend that is very much into role-playing games that would be more than happy to assist with any of the numerous role-playing games that I have started and never finished, so they'll be able to assist with that. I have another friend as well that they're very fond of puzzle games and would be more than happy to assist with just being featured in an episode at all. They like a wide variety of games. So I'm definitely playing with the idea of having either of them over virtually, of course, and just seeing what we'd be able to do together. One of them really enjoys Fall Guys. However, they recently started a Let's Play of Firmament, I want to say is what it's called. And I've been enjoying it so far. Mario, why'd you squish yourself? That's not helpful. That's not gonna help the princess. Just saying. So here we are in Dire Docks, and boy, the coins in this level are very dire to get because there's so many of them. Well, sorry, there's so few of them, I should say. There's got to be like maybe pushing 108 coins in here. Again, that's really pushing it. I know that this is the first 3D Mario game. I just really would have preferred to have like at least 150 coins per world, so you're not struggling and penny pinching for each individual coin in order to just get to that threshold. Thankfully, they do fix this in later games, but as of right now, we can't do a whole lot about it. So we just have to take our time, go around, get the coins that we can see, and sometimes getting the coins do mean life or death. I have been playing around with a few games. One game that I started messing with is Steep for the PlayStation 4. It's from Ubisoft, so I didn't have high hopes. But it's fun, except for the game does not teach you how to start a mission. So the first thing you do is you learn how to play, and it's like, okay, cool, got that, all set. And then it tries to start you on a mission, but it doesn't tell you how to start the mission. So I'm going through and doing this 5 or 6 times and just getting no results, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And I just have to look it up. I have checked every in-game option possible, and it has given me no information. So once I figure out how to start the mission, then I can actually accelerate my playthrough. As of right now, I'm just kind of exploring a steep mountain on some skis and a snowboard. Skis. There's skis, right? Yeah, skiing. Yeah, skis. Because a jet ski is actually water. Wait, a jet ski? Hold on. Why is a jet ski called a jet ski if there's not 2 of them? Why is a ski called skis if... Is it a pair of skis or a singular ski? No, it has to be a pair of skis, right? It's like a pair of pants, even though there's only one. Because there's 2 legs. It's like a pair of gloves. But... Anyway. I was finally able to start messing around with my Game Boy Advance to GameCube connector thing. And... It works on actual Game Boys. It does not work on my special Game Boy, unfortunately. Now, the link cable, that absolutely works. So I'm very happy with just getting by with that. But, you know, it's still kind of not great. But at the same time, I'm not too sure exactly what it is. Because why would the link cable work, but not the Game Boy Advance to GameCube cord? I don't know. It was a little weird for me. As you can see, we're already at 88 coins, and we are currently struggling in order to find more. This is just where it can kind of take you, where you are just searching over and over and over again, hoping to find any resemblance of coins. And I'll just let you know that in the next episode, when we go to a specific level that is unique, and my least favorite level, you're gonna have to be really particular about how you do the 100 coins there. Let's just say it really ticks me off. I do not like the next level that we have coming up, but I will be happy to air my frustrations out when we get there. Now, there's only 3 red coins left, so that's obviously 2, 4, 6, which is just enough in order for us to go and get the 100 coin star. Oh, sorry, 2 more. So let's see, that would be 104 coins, and that is just assuming that that is the maximum that you can get here. Now, you could go not under the ship, I apologize. You could, back on the first mission where you can go under the ship, into the ship. I want to say there's a few coins there, but I don't think it's really worth it. You really have to be careful about which level you go to. So just for safety, I always go to the very last level of every single world I'm going to. Thankfully, this one's going to be a lot faster, and it's going to be a lot more entertaining too. Thankfully, we have the slide in this world, and that just makes everything better. Don't you think? What is more fun? Just going through, slowly beating up enemies, trying to get each individual coin, or going down a slide? It's obviously the slide. Everyone knows it's the slide. It's got to be the slide, because the slide is so much fun. It is the fastest way in order to get a bunch of coins, in this game anyway. And that penguin has pushed us off of getting the blue coin, because it hates us. In Super Mario Sunshine, there is a level where you can play the jackpot, for lack of a better term, and that is not a good way of getting coins, unfortunately. It gives you maybe 3 coins, but most of the time it's a ghost, and I want to say it's rigged, but I don't know. I have not 100%ed Super Mario Sunshine, and it's going to be a while before I do, because I struggled enough with this one. I don't want to struggle with Super Mario Sunshine. I've seen lots of people struggle with Super Mario Sunshine. With Mario 64, enough people have done it, and I've seen enough people do it where I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem that bad. But with Super Mario Sunshine, I've seen so many people just complain and scream and yell at it, and I'm just like, you know what? I think this is for a reason. But Super Mario Galaxy, I know it's super easy. Even I've gotten pretty close to 100%ing it. But then I lost the game disc or something or another and lost the game data when I was at like 117 stars or something. So that does happen, unfortunately. And here we are back. And we're actually going to go back to the side because we missed quite a good chunk of coins, unfortunately. But luckily we were able to decline the race to the penguin so we can just have no obstacles this time. Yes, we are fast. No, we don't want to race. Now, unfortunately, the blue coin is not here. I believe that one actually comes from the penguin itself, sadly. But luckily, we do still have quite a good number of coins in order to obtain here. Because again, the coins that we got are just some of them. There's still quite a few that we are missing. I just love the slide. It makes me so happy whenever a level has a slide in it. I just take a breath of relief. I'm like, ugh. A nice way to very quickly and easily get a whole bunch of coins without having to stress about it. Because that does happen, unfortunately. When you are going through and you have to get a bunch of coins, it takes a lot of time. So just having a slide there is very nice. And it's also more entertaining than just watching me go around and slowly beat up Goombas. Now we are going to go all the way back to the top again using the teleportation station. Just because there's more coins at the top than there are at the bottom. But luckily, this is the part where it's not going to be that difficult. There are quite a few coins nearby, in lines as well as in circles, but it's going to be very easy. As well as those flower enemies, they are definitely going to be helping us in later snow levels. Just you wait. Now, you don't need to get every single coin here, thankfully. There are quite a good... There's enough areas of coins where you don't really have to worry about it too much. And actually, once we fall down here, Once we go right on by, then there's going to be a few more coins, and that is going to be our 100th coin, getting us the star. And thankfully we only have one more level after this, and that is going to be... What is the level? I forgot, actually. Big Boo's Haunt, that's right. This one's also not that bad, actually. What we do is, as long as you go through and you butt slam all of the boos that you see, you're going to be fine. It also helps to just go ahead, hit the blocks, because they typically have some coins in it, which I do appreciate. I never understood them when I played this game regularly, but when you go for 100%, then the coin blocks do help, because they give you a few coins that you don't really have to work hard for. But the worst thing that can possibly happen is if you go through the game, or sorry, go through the level, and you get 96 coins and then you die. The coins do not get saved. It is very heart-wrenching. And you will just be like, wow, that's awesome. Love that. I'm so happy that happened. Because then you have to go through and get all the coins again. But I made sure to edit out as much of the unnecessary buffer as I possibly could, just to make it a bit easier for everyone to watch. Now I know that the videos are going to only increase in length, unfortunately, but at the same time, with each level that we go to further and further, they're going to be a lot more difficult to get all the coins for, and they're going to be a lot bigger, and there's going to be a lot more gimmicks and unique stuff that happens that's going to make it more time-consuming, unfortunately. So I do apologize about that, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that, unfortunately. Well, at least I can make it entertaining with my commentary. One thing I've been doing is I've just been listening to music at work, and I brought this up previously, how I just have a big playlist of a bunch of bands I'm going to go see soon. I'm going, and I'm very excited to see them. Granted, that's if the tropical storm doesn't do anything. But even if it does, then I know that it'll get like postponed and rescheduled, which, not a big deal. I'll happily take the time in order to like take a different day off and go there, because some of these people I really wanted to see and I've known about for a while. Even Baby Metal, I've known about them since 2013. I remember mentioning how I was listening to them in middle school to my grandma, and she was like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what that is, but okay." And yeah, so I've been a long time listening to Baby Metal. I loved their first album, and I've even been listening to some of their recent stuff as well, and it's not bad actually. I've also been playing a fun little game in my car where, because I have so many like songs, some of them are from the new playlist I made where I just listen to the latest stuff or all of it from many different artists that are in the same category, just to see what I've been missing out on. And I will turn off the information on my car, so then I just hear the song itself with no information about the title, the artist, the album, and I just see how I like it. I'm like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good. And then I click the button, I'm like, oh, it's that song. Oh, cool. I'm glad I like that. As much as I love listening to songs just firsthand and seeing if I like it or not, that's not always the best option. It is typically better to listen to a song 3, 4, or 5 times to determine if you really like it. If you hear the song the first time and you like it, that's great. But if you hear the song the first time and you hate it, you hate it. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you just feel kind of meh on a song, then listen to it a few more times on a few different days just to see if your opinion changes. Because most of the time, with pop songs at least on the radio when I was growing up, it wasn't a matter of the song being good, it was just a matter of being like, hey, I like how this song does this, and I'm going to learn the lyrics because it's on every day from 2:15 to 2:13 to 3:13 to 5:15 to 6:15 to 7:15 to 8:15 to 9:15. And there's nothing better than listening to Britney Spears and will.i.am while you're in the car parking lot at elementary school. I'll tell you what, that's the most fun. Here we have the giant Boo. You don't have to fight him. You really don't. He gives you a star. But, you know, we already have that star, so that's not going to be helpful for us, unfortunately. But with the 94 coins that we have right now, it's not going to be that difficult. We just have to squish the bug, which I am terrified of. I'm not terrified of them per se. It's just when I see an insect that I typically don't see, like an ant, then I'm like, wow, I don't like this. I would like to stop. But that's a story for another time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, my 64 bears.